I'm going to try to make things quick here on this because I'm not feeling very well today, and my voice is low as a result, as you can tell. Yeah, I haven't been feeling well for like several weeks on there, and there's that's why there's not been any videos or anything cross posted from Twitch whenever I've done anything from Twitch, but I struggle a lot with things. I struggle with a great many things, both physically and mentally. I have some light sensitivity, so if it seems kind of dark, it's because I only have like one light on, just enough so I can be seen properly. And I have other gastrointestinal things that sometimes get in the way of work. That's actually kept me out of work here today. But there's also a lot that goes on in here, and sometimes it interferes with my creativity. And there's just one of those things that's been recurring for like a little more than a year that I feel like kind of need to go over right now because it's come back in kind of a darker light as of late. If you watch my Twitch streams or if you follow me on Twitter or anything like that, you undoubtedly know that I keep referring to myself as she or occasionally they, grand mistress, stuff like that. Because I am not male. I may have been born and assigned that, but I'm not. Like last fall, there was just this one point where all of a sudden it's like I am not very masculine. All the role models in my life have been women. I am not male. And there are parts of me that I actively despise. I do have some dysphoria. Like I said, the fact that my voice is really, really low gets on my nerves because it doesn't sound like it should be coming out of me, but it is. And there's a stubble on there. I shave it off as best as I can, but it's still there. Other things which I'm not going to get into. Other physical parts that annoy me, but I have tried to take like little steps just to present as more feminine. Nail polish, lip gloss, some more feminine pieces of clothing, like resin and whatnot. It doesn't work all the time. I still get called sir a lot, and I kind of mumble through it. Well, I'm not sir, but I don't have the confidence to project myself as saying I appreciate this. Something like I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm not a sir. It took me a long time to even get to that point. I started going by JR because I don't like my name. I don't like being called Jeremy, not just because of the Three Dog Night or Pearl Jam references, but it's a boy's name, and I'm not a boy. But I kept the initials JR after Joy Renee because years ago my parents told me that if I had been born a girl, that was what my name was going to be. So that's where that goes from now. But and I'm not the only trans person who goes through this point where, if somebody doesn't see them the way that they see them, it's kind of a little hurtful to them. I'm just really more affected by it just in general because I already have issues with, um, you know, not being taken seriously when I say something, you know, not having something that I believe is true being taken as true, being considered a liar even when I know that I'm not, or being made to feel like I'm actively causing more trouble when I'm just trying to get my viewpoint out there. And I'm not going to say exactly. The people who matter already know. But one of the people that I have respected the most, who was one of those role models, has misgendered me and used it as a conditional for spending time with them. If you want to see us, you can't wear any makeup or wear anything feminine clothing, and then they tried to throw guilt at me by invoking, people who are very close to me and saying you're hurting them. I already struggle with this head trying to tell me that I'm delusional for many, many reasons. That I'm not good enough at the things that I try to do. That I'm never going to be good enough at the things that I try to do. That I'm never going to be the person that I know I'm supposed to be. That is something I've struggled with for, at the very least, like 7 years or more. There are just things about that I am somewhat of a perfectionist. If something doesn't turn out quite the way I want it, I'll try to kind of brush it off. But then if it ends up, if I perceive that it's not perfect but good enough, I'll be okay with it. But if I perceive it as being terrible, even if other people around me say otherwise, I'm going to freak out about it, and I instantly recoil because I have this reflex to recoil away from things that hurt me. If you've ever read the Dune series, basically, if I were taking the Gom Jabbar, I would have been dead, because the mark of the Gom Jabbar is to, not recoil from pain, is to know that this one pain is not great, that you can't recoil from every pain, that some pains have to be endured in order to survive. That is something, at least in that universe, that is a uniquely human rationalization. And if I were in that universe, that would be a test that I would fail. So, by those definitions, one could say that I am not human. But there is one thing I do try to do, and it's, I'm not out to hurt people. I'm not out to make people suffer by my existence or by any actions. Any harm that I've caused, I try to make up for. And I pride myself on being a contrite individual when I do mess up, to the point where sometimes I even apologize for things I'm not responsible for, or things that aren't that big of a deal. I'm that kind of neurotic, really. But to say that I'm harming people that I care about with all of this, what kind of harm does this do? What kind of harm is there in painting your nails? What kind of harm is there in wearing lip gloss. The only people espousing that there's harm in any kind of that are ironically people who harm people by putting them through kind of those tests of gender purity. You know, we have people like that one I forget if it's like principal or vice principal or something, but it was a school official in West Virginia who went into the bathroom with a trans boy to check for penis. That is more harmful than me doing this. I'm not harming anybody. I possess the moral code to know better than to mess with anyone under any kind of pretext, gender or otherwise. I have a very strongly defined sense of logic and moral code that precludes me from doing any of that. And if I did do any of that, I would accept the consequences because, again, this is what my moral code and my neuroses are wired to do. And you don't put conditionals on people for having them spend time with you. You can't do that. That isn't love. That isn't affection. That's abusive, is what it is. So I was going to go and spend time with those people over the holiday week, and I'm not going to now because they put that conditional on me. Because they have been so conditioned by the things that they've been watching, the things that they've been paying attention to think that anything that defies gender convention, that defies, these quote-unquote absolutes of gender, is harmful. And if I am harming those people, I trust that they or someone who is in direct control over them will actively tell me that and let me know. But I can't change who I am. And I can't accept being made to change who I am as a condition for social interaction. I've already lost so much this year. I've lost so much, and I am afraid of loss. I will readily admit that. I am afraid of losing things. And a lot of the rationalizations that I do or I say sometimes, or my penchant for explaining things is admittedly predicated on being afraid of losing something. And it's because I've lost a lot of things over the years. I have lost so much. I have lost so much, especially like over the last decade. There have been. I lost, a local job that I thought took care of me. I lost a significant other. I lost my faith. I can't believe in God anymore. I'm never going to be able to believe in God anymore because I was hurt so much by people of faith in that time. I've lost my sense of independence. I've had to rediscover my own identity. I basically lost my sense of self for a time being. And I'm done with losing. I am sick and tired of losing. This entire year has been one of the most loss-filled years of my life. Not the most loss-filled year of my life, but certainly one of them. And because I've lost friends. I've lost, again, my sense of independence. I have lost the will to create, and I have struggled to try and get that back, and I still don't have it back entirely. And now I'm losing people I respect out of my life. People I love dearly because they've been in my life for literally all my life. I just want to be accepted as I am. I want to be able to heal from all the loss, and I don't want to have further injury inflicted upon me when, when my body is failing me far more often than it ever has. Most importantly, because this is also something that I've struggled for this past year, I want to at least be able to live to see 35. Even in my darkest moments, when those intrusive thoughts come into my head, I know deep down into my soul that I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready for this world to die. I'm not ready for anyone I care about to die. I'm just tired. Tired of losing. Tired of seeing the world fall apart around me. Tired of seeing my life fall apart around me. "2018's coming to a close. And I'm going to go ahead and send this prayer out to the universe. 2019, for the love of everything that has ever existed in this universe, let us all heal, please. Give us a break. Give me a break. Let me heal. Let me be me.